Like-minded people.
The culture, the craft, the conversation. Welcome to Like-Minded People, the podcast. I'm Phil Fokus, a drum and bass artist with over 25 years of experience in the underground music scene. But more importantly, I'm a huge fan of MCs. This podcast takes a deep dive into the fascinating world of MCs from across the musical spectrum, hitting it from all angles, discussions, interviews, freestyles, and more. So if you share my love for MCs, or you're curious and want to find out more, you're in exactly the right place.
And we're recording. Yes, all good. So off we go. Hello, welcome to the first ever episode of Like-Minded People, the podcast. I'm Phil Fokus. You've got me in the hot seat today. And this is the welcome episode. Short, sharp, bite size. Just want to break down what Like-Minded People is all about and what you can expect from the podcast, really. So let's get into it. Like-minded people, if I could capture the essence, it would be as simple as this. In one sentence, like-minded people is for the love of MCs. It's as simple as that. If you love MCs, you're in exactly the right place. That's something we all have in common. Maybe you're an MC yourself. You could be an aspiring MC, just recently picked up the mic or even thinking about picking up the mic, feeling inspired. Maybe you're an experienced artist. You might have been on the circuit doing your thing on the mic for decades. Maybe you're not an MC at all. That's all good. This is not aimed at MCs. This is aimed at people, like-minded people who love MCs, listening to MCs, the culture, the craft, everything that goes with it. So really, we're focused here on conversations about MCs and content around MCs. Maybe you're someone who's curious about what is an MC. You know, MCs recently have become much more a part of popular culture. It's not quite the underground thing that maybe it once was. So you might be curious about what an MC does, what the role of an MC is. I'll be bringing together all of that stuff and more. Like you said in the intro, Like-Minded People is the culture, the craft, the conversation. They're the three pillars. They're the three windows that I'll be looking through as we make our way through this journey together, exploring the amazing world of MCs. For the love of MCs, that's what I'm trying to capture. So let's look at those three pillars. The culture. I think music without culture is very, very short-lived. And what I mean by that, and you know, maybe you've got your own experience of this, but what I mean is when you remove culture from the music you're listening to, it has a very short shelf life. I think when you buy into the culture, and I mean psychologically, maybe also financially, because you are literally purchasing your music, right, in one shape or form, whether that's through the streaming platforms you use or buying an artist albums, the physical, the downloads, whatever it might be. But I'm talking about really about the psychological investment. When you feel invested in a music and its culture, the culture that underpins it, then you're in. Do you know what I mean? And this is something I'm really looking forward to exploring, conversations around culture, diving into different cultures, because this is not just going to be about one particular genre of music. I'm from the drum and bass scene, been involved in that scene for over 25 years. So, of course, a lot of the people in my network are fellow drum and bass MCs. So that's a fantastic starting point for me. But it's far from the sole focus of this podcast. So, like I keep saying, it's for the love of MCs, whether that's drum and bass, grime, hip-hop, dancehall, even along the lines of spoken word and poetry, slam poetry, all these kind of things. I love all of that. So that's what we're going to be diving into. But yeah, I don't want to digress. The culture is so important. It's the culture that gives the music its real identity. And, you know, whilst it isn't genre specific at all, I think that's why I'm so in love with a lot of the UK music scene and the music that the UK has produced over the years, because when you look at something like Jungle, it's just the essence of British street culture. And rave culture, and I can relate to that. I've experienced it. I love it. Brings me so much joy. I'm passionate about it. So I am psychologically invested in that. I'm bought in. I'm all in. Also love hip hop, but I'm less invested in hip hop because really, like, the origins of hip hop essentially started in America, right? In the USA. So I'm less into the hip hop culture purely because I've just not experienced it and I can't relate to it in the same way that I can relate to the culture that surrounds jungle and drum and bass MCs and grime MCs and the UK street culture. So that's just an example, and I'm looking forward to getting deeper into that myself and with my guests. But culture, so important. It underpins everything to do with music and its identity. And then we've got the second pillar, which is the craft. So MCs at their core are here to spit lyrics, right? Would you agree? Would you disagree? Again, we'll be getting into it. But such a big part of MCing is about the lyrics, the content, the performance, whether that's writing lyrics to perform in the studio, creating your body of work, your singles, your albums, all that stuff, getting creative in the studio, whether it's jumping on stage and shelling down the dance, the rave. There's all these different elements of the craft of MCing, lyric writing, content, but the performance and the creativity element as well. What inspires people? What gets an MC switched on? What are the different modes that MCs go into? Like I said, you've got studio mode, stage mode, shelling it down mode, all these different things that we're going to get into around the craft. And I'll be featuring MCs actually doing what they do, spitting bars, dropping freestyles. And I'm very keen as well to push the a cappella element, because I think when you go a cappella, take the beats out and it's just an MC and their voice, you can pick up on different things, the different flows, the patterns, the timing, the cadence, the tonality. I think it's a very interesting way to look at things when you take the music out. So I'll be getting some a cappella features alongside other freestyles and exclusive lyrical content to represent the craft of MCing. And then we've got the third pillar, which is the conversations. From the podcast perspective, of course, it's all about the conversations. So there's going to be solo episodes where I'll be talking on different topics, but obviously going to be getting some fantastic guests involved as well, drawing from the people I know within the drum and bass scene, but also other genres, other scenes, other communities and networks of MCs that I'm going to be tapping into and learning from. So when it comes to the guests, stories are at the core. I want to hear people's stories. I'm a fan of this culture. I'm one of the biggest fans of this thing that I know. So a lot of this inspiration for me to do this is really coming from a selfish kind of place, because I crave these stories. I want to be talking to authentic MCs and hearing what influences them, what gets them fired up, what's their background when it comes to this whole thing that we call MCing, what are their thoughts and opinions on different topics, what's going on within their scene, within their genre, all of this kind of thing. Deep conversations, honest conversations, open and transparent conversations with a bit of vulnerability as well. I think the best conversations come when we can get a little bit more below the surface. So, of course, we're going to be talking about the MC's history, but I'm keen to explore, some of the other things that I've already mentioned, like creativity, like mindset, like fulfillment, but also just giving an insight into what's going on when the cogs are turning in their MC mind. So expect conversations with some fantastic guests. The bottom line is this: it has to be authentic. I'm only interested in talking to authentic MCs. Now, Mic-Minded People itself is more than a podcast. This is a movement that I'm building and creating. And as I keep bringing it back to, it is quite simply for other like-minded people who love MCs. It's all for the love of MCs. The best thing you can do right now is, well, two things. Keep listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. Do all the normal stuff that podcast people say, but, you know, it does help in terms of following the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on, liking it, subscribing to it, leaving comments. And I'd welcome people to leave comments, any questions and feedback. Please get involved. I want to make this interactive. And the other thing that you can do to ensure that you stay up to date with everything Mike-Minded People related and keep in the know is simply to follow on Instagram at Mike-Minded People. That's where you get all the updates, exclusive content. So please do that. But also, more than anything, tell your friends about it. Share the love. Let people know this exists. And yeah, I want to make this interactive. So there will be episodes where I'll be asking for your questions, taking the Q&A, that kind of thing as well. So creating a bit of a community element to this. Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's wrap it up there. Watch out for the next episode. I've really, really enjoyed doing this. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your ears. Mike-Minded People, for the love of MCs, the culture, the craft, the conversation. Until next time, I'm out.